one moment. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Mad Cat Magician, good morning. How are you? I've had a couple of days. Good to see you guys here this morning. So, we'll get into this in a minute. I got a couple of housekeeping things I got to do here with the computer. Let's see. Figure out how to move this chat around. What else we got here? Shane, how are you this morning? Joe, good morning. First Degree Forge. Josh, how you doing, buddy? Hope things are going well for you guys. I've been adjusting the mic, trying to figure this out. My mic wasn't working. That's why we're giving us late starting up here this morning. And I know I've been gone for a while. Explanation to follow here in a little bit and what's going on. But you guys know me. I just do what I can when I can. All right. I think we got it. Now, let's try this. Let's try this. Let's see where it is. The pop-out chat. We can move that to where we can see it a little better. Come on. There we go. That is more better. Okay, now we can see a little bit better. Richard Bryant, how are you doing this morning? It's good to see you guys. So this explanation will probably come out a couple of times through our little stream this morning, which is fine. It's not a big deal. When last we met, I was just getting over a little cold that I had, and just letting you guys know where I've been, what's been going on. A couple of days after that, it was like Tuesday that week. This hat is giving me all kinds of problems. Anyway, it was like Tuesday that particular week. I ended up going to the hospital. I ended up with some nasty pneumonia, bronchitis, blah, blah, blah. And it has lasted for the last 3 weeks or so. Over this last week, I finally started tapering off on the cough. So there you go. So I haven't been able to do much. And with all of this stuff going on, it's a little harder recovery time. So I apologize for that. I apologize for not being around for a bit. But, you know, when you're old and broken, that's what happens. Anyway. Oh, let me see. Is our sound okay? Sound, video, all that good stuff. It says the stream is working out really well. Let's see. We already adjusted that. Stream health is good. There we go. Alright, now I gotta find you guys again because I just lost my chat. There you are. You're back. We're all back. Custom Clutter 100. Good morning, Big Dog. Great to see you posting again. Well, thank you. Finally started to gather materials for my hammer. Watched your video. At least 8 years ago, life got in the way. It does. Life gets in the way. That's what happens. Everything from YouTube to children and everything in between. Life gets in the way. But you know what? If you smile and take it with a grain of salt, usually everything turns out just fine. Shane, good morning this morning. How are you? Your place get affected by the floods a few weeks ago. Ours didn't. I live in an area where we're way down in the valley, but 100 years ago they put in a set of railroad tracks. It's still active, and they built it up, and it makes this huge levee dike thing, and the river's on the other side of that, and we are nowhere in any kind of danger. Never have been from that. I'm really lucky here. Yeah. So on top of all that good kind of stuff, we I don't know, kind of in the Goldilocks zone here. We bought this house. It was built in 1899, finished in December of that year, and when it was built, it didn't have electricity. But when they brought power through town, they hooked it up to the main street, which is a block over there, and there were no other houses around. So when they brought all the other houses in, they made their own grid. Well, that's the faulty grid. So power goes out here. We're the only house in the neighborhood that still has power coming from Main Street. So I've never been without power. I've never been in danger of flood because of the railroad tracks that are half a mile away. Yeah, so kind of in a really safe Goldilocks zone. The only danger I have is there's a big, giant cedar tree on my neighbor's property, 100 feet that direction, and it sways and bends, and the thing's 100 feet tall, and if it falls on my house, then that's the only danger but you know, I don't think it's going to do that before I go. It's a pretty strong tree, so I'm good. So yeah, all the natural disasters don't really invade my house. The only other thing I got is right over that way. We got Mount Rainier, and it's giant, huge Mount Rainier thing that's an active volcano. But you know, if that goes off, we're all gone anyways. But it's good, yeah. Barring any natural disasters, we're all good. Oh, let's see. Jim, oh, hi from Ohio. Good morning. How are you, sir? How's it in Ohio? How's the weather and all that good stuff? So yeah, to answer your question there, Shane, no floods, no problems, no issues. So I go out of porch. Joe, how are you? Yeah, I'm glad I'm back at it too. And this is something, while I'm going through this medical transition of mine, which is going to take the next few months, and hopefully they're going to get this neuromuscular thing fixed. I've got the VA working on me now, and I've actually I'm going to go off on a tangent here. Got a pretty good group of doctors. Years ago, the last time I dealt with the VA was when I was in the military. Jesus, 45 years ago. The military doctors were scary, to say the least. But the one that I've got now, young, intelligent individual, civilian type, and seems to be right on top of things. So as they're working on all of this, there are going to be spotty situations where I'm not going to be on Sundays. I'll try to let you guys know that. I simply got blindsided by the pneumonia that just hit me. And like I said, with this going on, it takes me a lot longer to recover from that kind of thing. So it knocked me out for a while. If that happens again, I will put something out, let you guys know what's going on. But I wanted to get back to you here. My wife passed along a message to me from Facebook from Rusty Hubcap. And I don't see him in here this morning. Perhaps he'll stop by. Not sure. Asking if I was okay, what was going on, kind of thing. And I let him know that I was going to try to be back last week, but extended. So, but if you guys ever need to get a hold of me, a great way to do it is my wife still monitors Big Dog Forge on Facebook. I can't get into it. They've locked me out of that account because I forgot the password. And it's been years, but people are still active there. And if you want to know something or what's going on or got a question or whatever, Big Dog Forge, you can just send a message. She'll pick it up and get it right to me the same day, kind of thing. So let me come down here and take a look. What else is going on? Oh my goodness. Mr. Bryant. Sorry to hear that. It's again life, getting in the way. Life happens. I am sorry to hear about your loss and the challenges you're going through. I hope things get better for you. I really, really do. I hope the universe looks at you and smiles here soon. Because after going through stuff for a while, you kind of start feeling like, things are getting a little gloom. But just remember, it's always going to get better eventually. Yes. Madcap, yes. My coffee is actually kicking in a little early today. I actually got up this morning with some enthusiasm in me, knowing that I was going to get to come and do this. And yeah, I've been talking to the wife about doing a little bit of remodel in the kitchen, which has been super cool, awesome. Because she is a great cook. If you can't tell by the shape that I'm in, she is an awesome cook. I love her to death, and I think it's time she got some new tools to further her craft. So we're going to do a little bit of kitchen remodel. I bought her one of those sous vide air fryer things. We haven't got it yet, but it's incoming, which is kind of cool. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on in my life, and you guys are all kind of caught up with what's happening, what's going on. And am working on some more YouTube videos now that I'm back on my feet. And we'll put something out soon. I don't know exactly when. I'm usually trying to tell people when, but it never goes right. So it's always, a week late or whatever. So when you see it, you see it. And I'm not really sticking to a particular schedule as far as creating YouTube content. Oh, let me see. What we got over here. What is going on? I keep getting all these flags and stuff all over the place. It's error. Use a key for. I don't know what the heck that is. I'm going to ignore it. If I ignore it, it'll go away, right? It's like most things in life. Jack Pines, how are you? It's good to see your face too, my friend. Excuse me, I burped right into the mic. It has something to do with coffee, I'm sure. So, since we've been back, and we've missed the last 3 or 4 weeks or so, but since we've been back, this is our 13th episode. So, I have been thinking about, I don't know, but changing the morning thing only so that I can give the dogs a little more time in the morning. And then it would put me a little bit later, but I know quite a few folks go to church, they have jobs, things like that. So if it would not bother you guys to do this a little later in the day, I might consider doing that, but I'm going to have to take a look at it. I don't do anything these days without, taking it through committee and all that good stuff. Starting flood recovery. You guys had flooding issues there? I suppose you probably would. You're out in that part of the valley. I think I think you're in the Auburn Valley up here somewhere, aren't you? I don't know. I don't remember. There's too much going on up here for me to remember anything these days, to be honest with you. Top ramen for that. You know what? There was a time in my life where top ramen was my mainstay, and I still love that stuff. You'd think you get tired of it, but it's good stuff. It's really versatile. Wouldn't bother you if it did go later. Nice. Yeah, because it's one of those things where I got, get up in the morning and you do your morning routine, and the dogs kind of take priority. Get them outside, walk them, blah, blah, blah. feed them, get them all together. And if I'm rushing through that, then they're not quite happy. So this is something that might go an hour later or something like that. I don't know if that would be a thing or not, but I might, it's something I might do. Let's see what this says. Remember to get rid of it. Their YouTube's throwing me warnings about making sure I protect myself from my chat. Apparently, I'm not supposed to reveal too much, and I should have a monitator. You know what? YouTube, leave me alone. Alrighty. Too many things pop up these days, and I don't know what they are. And I never have time to check them out and figure out what they are. But then again, I don't think I care. As long as this is working and we're chatting back and forth, I'm good. I am good. Good. Let's see. A flyaway beard this morning. Oh, my goodness. So, what do we have going today, my friends? What is on your agenda? I haven't seen Nemo in here either. Ben Toombs. But then again, they're probably thinking he's gone again. He disappeared. That happens once in a while. I do disappear. I would not blame them if I thought that. Look for horse head by Green River. We are on. Oh, you're right down. Yeah, I know where that intersection is. Where that Chevron is. It floods. Yeah, it does flood when it gets bad down there. Not quite like this year. So did it make it into your house or up onto your porch or any of that? Or were you saved from getting your house wet? Putting in time making tongs that you know what? The tong thing is, I gotta be honest with you, it's kind of therapeutic. It's one of those things where it's kind of the first thing that you, not really the first thing, but it's one of the first things that you kind of learn when you're doing this stuff. And it's something that a lot of people don't like making tongs, but for me, it's just sort of a comfortable go-to where you can do the craft, have fun with it. You have a purpose, got a type of tong in mind, and it's to me kind of a comfort zone. It's odd, but it is. Also some Damascus knives. So you guys can't see it. You can't even see it. But right behind me in a brand new box, there is a plasma cutter that I bought on Amazon quite some time ago. It came from China, and it's here with me now. And I think I bought this thing probably 3-4 months ago, something like that. I don't know. But it was before I fully retired. It's now in here, and I will be using it to cut up pieces of metal to do some Damascus with, and that's going to be some videos coming out. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a sort of a start from beginning, and we're going to look at the metal we're going to use. We'll be doing a bunch of different kinds, and we'll be doing a few layers up to multi-layers, doing all sorts of Damascus. We're going to turn those into Damascus billets. I won't be making knives out of them. That process is better left to a professional knife maker like Josh. Those guys will be, as they come out, if they come out in a decent shape and they look good and blah, 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 and they're workable, those will be going on an Etsy shop, and I'll sell them for a few bucks to make the money back on materials or whatever I'm doing. It won't be like outlandish stuff, but it also won't be the $20 Damascus that you get from like eBay or Amazon or something. I've actually purchased some of that in the past to see what it was, and it comes in and it's a piece of sort of I don't know, sort of mid-grade carbon steel with an etch on it that looks like Damascus. And they bill it as Damascus, blah blah blah. But anyway, I'm going to go through this process and make some of these billets, and it's going to be sort of a step by step. This is where you can start, and then it'll get more advanced as we move along, sort of a series. And I'm going to use this plasma cutter to cut chunks of different types of metal. We'll be doing some sort of bend tests, spark tests on stuff, so you can use lawnmower blades and bandsaw blades, that kind of thing. And then as those billets are produced, we'll put them on Etsy, and if somebody wants to buy them for a few bucks to support the little channel, then we can do that. So that's going to be a thing. And that will probably be, like I said, they're still working on this, so as I get better, things are going to progress a little bit further, but that's a future thing. But the parts are starting to come in. Yay! Oh no, your garage, your smithy, your motorcycle? That's too bad, man. I'm sorry to hear that. I am sorry to hear that. At least it doesn't happen every year down there. I know the water gets high in that area in the rainy season, but yeah, this one was particularly bad. Sorry to hear that, brother. I hope things are going to work out okay for you. Hope the insurance company takes care of your motorcycle and doesn't pull the act of God business on you. I like making tongs. So do I. Like I said, it's kind of a go-to comfort place. Not begging, but have a GoFundMe link in the channel. I will check it out. I will go to Create with Jack Pines and check it out and see what we can do to help you out there, buddy. I would love to make me a Damascus wedding ring one of these days. Yeah, I made, some time ago, a few years ago, I made a twisted Damascus. And I think I used some mild steel and some bandsaw blades or something for some contrast. And I turned that down into a cylinder for a nice young lady who was making jewelry out of it. I think I sent her like a foot long bar of that. So there's a video out on that. But I think I still have some of that Damascus around. But we're going to be getting into making round bar Damascus for jewelry and stuff as well. So that'll be part of that series. But if you jump into that, good luck. It's a fun thing to do. Just depending on the metal that you use, make sure you use something that you can, punch or machine or whatever without too much trouble. Damascus jewelry is it's cool looking, it's fun, all that good stuff. The hardest part that I found with it is actually machining it after the fact. You really got to normalize it. Nice. Hope you started making tongs soon. Started at UI Forge 10 years ago. You're trying the FABA. Oh, two burner Reaver, huh? Vevor. Thanks, Ken. That's cool. That is really cool. Good luck with that. I hope that everything goes well. If you got any questions while you're moving along, if I can help answer anything, I'm more than happy to. If I can. I don't know. Okay, good luck with that, man. Jack, I hope that works out for you. because there are a lot of people that are suffering because of that very particular situation where these guys who are supposed to keep an eye on this stuff, they just fell down on the job completely. And I don't know why. I have no idea what they're thinking, but I have a feeling that it has something to do with lack of practice and these guys keeping up on their SOPs. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but you kind of see it everywhere. You're welcome, Richard. King County Sheriff's ignored your calls for 12 hours. Holy moly. Yeah, that's ridiculous. 12 hours to get a call for help. That is ridiculous. Sorry about the coughing, guys. I still got a little bit of that hanging on. A little bit of a battle there, but I don't mean to cough in your ear. Sorry about that. Don't forget the like button, guys. Yeah. Thanks for mentioning that, Richard. Appreciate it. I do appreciate that. Oh, let's see. My eyeball thing's acting up. Oh, I hit my mic. It's acting up a little bit. Sorry about that. You see me jumping around trying to fix it a little bit so I can read the comments. That's not what I needed to do. There we go. That's better. Okie doke. I appreciate it, Jack. That is awesome, man. But like I said, we're kind of immune from the floods and all that stuff. If Mount Rainier goes off, that's about the only thing we're susceptible to here. Got really lucky when I bought this particular place. Although, I'd rather be in the country a little bit more. But it is what it is, and we're at where we're at, and we just don't get that kind of problem. But appreciate you thinking about checking in on me. I do appreciate that. Not many people here. I guess they're busy. You know what? I think that probably there's a lot going on in the world and people's lives and things like that. But a bigger issue, and this is something that I need to pick up on, I need to be better at, is when I disappear for a couple of weeks at a time, a lot of folks are probably thinking, well, he's gone again, and I'm not going to waste my time with that. And that's something I need to work on. This is nothing to do with anybody out there. I need to be a little more consistent in what I'm doing, and if I'm not, I need to let you guys know what is going on. So, yeah, and for that, I do apologize. It's been a long road trying to put life back together. Not an excuse, just a fact, and we're getting there. It will take a bit, but I will be better at communication with you guys, and try to be not so distracted by all the things flying around all over the place here. Ray Wolf, sup? How you doing, brother? It's good to see you, man. I am really glad you guys dropped by this morning. It's good to see you, Ray Wolf. Oh, love it, man. It is nice to know that there are people out there who will jump in and say, hey, no matter what. Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, I was talking about the whole Damascus thing or pattern welded thing, whatever your brand of terminology is. The that is something that, like I said, it's probably going to be a couple of, I don't, you know what, I'm predicting again, probably a month, maybe two, before we get into some full-on how-to videos again. Maybe longer, I don't know. I'm going to hang in there as best I can, and I'll be producing a few goofy little videos. If you want to support the channel, you can check those videos out, even if they're not something you really are into. But yeah, that's where kind of the channel is, and like I said, doing a little remodeling, wife's kitchen, that kind of thing. But I am like fully retired now. So I actually gonna get my second Social Security check on the third Wednesday of every month. So it's so if there's anything in life that hits home and makes you go, wait a minute, I got old somehow. It's when you see that little thing online. It pops up and it says, the Social Security Department, blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh. So yeah, so the being retired kind of thing is actually giving me time to not worry about work, focus on my health, try to get better, blah blah blah, and I'm slowly getting there. We just got a couple of questions to answer with the VA docs, and we'll be back. We'll be a lot better off. But until then, I'm working on little projects back there on that bench, and 3D printers, that kind of stuff that I don't have to actually do a whole lot of. When you can't see half the time, it's only half the time. So I'm like 50% functionally blind. And you're, using table saws, band saws, forge, power hammer, things that can take your limbs off. It's not a great idea. You really need to be able to see what you're doing. So that's why things are moving slow. We're getting back to the point where we can see what we're doing. Driving truck and how high the water got. Yeah. So you bought a Ford show. Yes. Yeah, I actually didn't get out much and drive around in that. That's when I was kind of sorry about this. The phone is going off. I thought I had it muted. But yeah, I didn't get it. Most of the flood stuff that I saw from I saw from the news. It was just sitting on my couch watching the news, so it wasn't something. I'm gonna mute this telephone. There we go. Anyway, yeah, so I saw it from my couch. I didn't have to deal with it or any of that stuff, but yeah, it was looked pretty devastating to a lot of folks. Just pretty sad, pretty sad for a state where it rains as much as it does. Seems like we would have our flood control a little bit more in hand, but like I said, I think people get out of practice. They change hands. They don't pay attention. Blah blah blah. And then when real life comes around, they're like, what do we do? The bags. How are you? Good morning. Good to see you. Moto, exactly. That's exactly what it says to me when it shuts itself off right in the middle of when I don't want it to shut off, and it comes back on. And I'm like, sometimes this is the worst phone on the planet. It sucks. I hate it, but I'm not going to buy a new one because I'm cheap. I'm cheap. One of those old guys on a fixed income. Damn it. Exposure of bone pits and such. Don't forget to put in for the PACT Act. See, I know nothing about this stuff, and I don't even know what that is. The PACT Act through the VA for exposure of bone pits and such. I will look into it. So, I got out of the military in the late 80s, and mid 80s, I guess. It's been so long ago, I don't really freaking remember. Army Ranger my entire career, got out and kind of never looked back. And what happened is I started getting older, closer to retirement, And everybody's like, "What's your healthcare looking like?" And I'm like, "Oh, I guess it's Medicaid, Medicare, whatever the heck that stuff is." And a couple of buddies of mine are like, "You were a vet, dude. You can go to the VA and all this stuff." And I'm like, "Nah." And I put it off for years. And so finally, it was like, I don't know, a year ago, I went to the VA and I'm like, "What do I do to get this, taken care of, whatever?" And I had some good folks helping me out. There was an individual called himself Safirin, 6, 7 years ago, who was involved with the channel, gave me some really good advice. He had a lot of information on it, and I used that. So the VA pulled me in, gave me a little disability thing, so I got a little check coming in from that, and medical, so I get 100% medical, which is great. So I got the medical covered, but I have no idea what all of these things are that people keep bringing stuff up to me, so I write them down and then I ask about them, but I have no idea what the new stuff is all about, so I'm a little bit ignorant in that area. Just gonna get better. Love that. How you doing? How's it going? But yeah, anyway, I will check into this PACT Act thing. Oh. And some have suggested that what's going on with me now, with this whole neuromuscular thing, may have something to do with some of the stuff that I did when I was in the military, but I have no idea. See your VA rep should have one in your town. I do actually. Actually, have. As a matter of fact, it's funny you should say that. I have a VA primary medical card right there that I was just looking at when I sat down here this morning, and I've just, as a matter of fact, I take this little card with me, so I'm going to write that on the back. There. Now I will be sure to ask. Drayson, how you doing, buddy? Good morning. Coffee to you. Good coffee to you and everyone else. Tennessee Blacksmith, how are you this morning? It's good to see you. Hope things are going well, and well, I assume you're in Tennessee. Thanks for the advice, by the way, on the VA thing, guys. This community has been super helpful to me over the years, and it's awesome. I love the fact that you guys jump in, give me advice, because I can tell you just about anything you need to know about blacksmithing. The rest of the world has been, I don't know, it just in the periphery for me all my life. I just don't pay attention to it. Uh-oh, I lost my thing again. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's see what we got going here. Not cheap, just thrifty. Yes, that's what I tell everybody. I'm frugal. Been retired 60 years old wife. We retired at 65, but we'd have to plan on being out of money by 80. Yeah, I know the feeling. I've started narrowing my world down as much as I can as far as expenditures go, because you start balancing the budget against the future, and it's like, I can understand why people who are on Social Security only, if you're on Social Security only, and husband, wife, whatever, I can see why a lot of people live in motorhomes. I understand that. It would be, if you had a place to park it, it would save you enough money that you could actually survive on Social Security as a average individual. And I can see why people do that. Luckily, my particular mortgage here is less than what you would pay for a rental lot for a motorhome or whatever. So, I bought it so long ago that the payments are pretty small compared to, I mean, holy, I've talked to some of these kids I used to work with where, they're paying $3,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment. What the heck? It's ridiculous. Let's see. Right. Went from 80, 20 to 100%. Really? It's cold out there, huh? I recently, my former boss, really good friend of mine, just had a house built in Tennessee. I don't know which part of Tennessee, but they just moved that way. He's an old retired guy like me, and him and his wife moved back there to be closer to their kids. Um, so, yeah, apparently it's a little chilly out in Tennessee this time of year. Had to get ready for church. Well, I'm glad to see you here this morning. Glad to see you here this morning, Grayson. Tennessee Blacksmith just started your blacksmith channel on YouTube. I will check it out. I have been checking out a lot of young blacksmiths lately. And your YouTube channel. If you want to put a link up in the chat right now, that would be cool. I will save that, but I will write down your name. Well, let me know how I can find you on YouTube. I would love to come and find you, or if this is your channel name, I will go check that out. But yeah, if you can post a link, I'll just save the link to your channel and check you out after the thing here. So, let's see. Yeah, the 401k. You know what? I used most of that. I quadrupled most of that out and paid off every bill that I have. The only bills that I have nowadays are my water, power, my mortgage. That's it. I don't have any debt anywhere else. I do have a little work van that I bought a few years ago that I'm making a little car payment on, but that's going to be gone here real soon. So yeah, my debt is close to zero. And it seems like every credit card company and every loan company in the world know that. And they keep sending me these letters going, we'll give you a personal line of credit for like $100,000, blah blah blah. Yeah. I'm like, no, thank you. I don't like that kind. I'm not gonna live long enough to pay it back. Well, there's an idea. Oh my goodness, they'd come and repossess my casket. I just know it. Living in your retirement home. New toy bought early due to the flood. So yep, that's our plan. You know what? And I've got this old motorhome. I think Grayson saw it, that we drove back to Indiana when we went to Quad State back there, I don't know, 6-7 years ago. And I keep it up. I keep it covered and all that kind of stuff. And it's old. When I say old, it's like early 2000s, something like that. But if I had to, I could live in that thing. The biggest problem with me living in that, myself, the wife, the dogs, there'd be 4 of us in there. But it's totally doable. And if something ever happened, that's a fallback for me. I got to be honest with you, because never know what's going to happen in the state of the world today. Just gotta keep moving forward. Let me see. Paying $13.20 for a studio in California. I heard California was expensive, but that's you know what? When I was a young man, long before I got married, I had a studio apartment. I had a couple of them actually, And I do remember this. I remember it was back then, this is back in the 70s. You worked for jobs that didn't pay hardly anything at all, and you struggled to come up with rent. But my, the one that I remember the most, my studio apartment was 125 a month. And there was times I struggled to pay that, but then again, I was a young man and I was, not the most responsible with money in those days. But 13.20 for a studio—that's incredible. That is way more than I pay for my mortgage right now. Moving to Texas, interesting. Found you in sub Tennessee Blacksmith. See, that's what I'm talking about. Good job, Jack. I will be doing that myself as soon as we're done here. Soon as we are done here. Oh, nice. That's cool. So, let me get through this. Yeah, $10,000 a year. I mean, I think that's my annual income now. I'm not really sure. Yeah, the way the economy is going, anybody who wants to try to live on their own nowadays is kind of screwed. Casa del Big Dog on Wheels, exactly. Oh my goodness. I wonder if prices out in Tennessee are any better as far as like rents and properties and stuff like that. I don't know. Over 56 and last year 60, 55 apartments for 600 a month. But there are over 100 people ahead of me. Yeah, I mean, that's the lists for that kind of stuff are extremely long. My daughter, um, my daughter's partner actually, was homeless for a bit. My daughter helped them through that, and it took them like a couple of years to find some permanent housing. Same kind of situation, but they're disabled, so they got a disabled housing thing. But it took a really long time, and if it hadn't been for my kid helping out, it would have been a disaster for that individual. And I'm really glad that that worked out for them. But holy moly, people are really suffering trying to just make rent and buy freaking food nowadays. Good job, Soggy Bottom. Good job, Joe. Like I said, I'm gonna go check out Tennessee Blacksmith here in a few minutes. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like we got 10 minutes or so left to dink around here. So I'm gonna tell you guys a story, and this is something that I don't know how to feel about this. It kind of made me feel weird. I don't know. I'm gonna tell you a little story. I was watching a young man yesterday. Don't know his name. Don't know his channel. He's done some. He's got quite a few subscribers. I know that, um, because he's been doing stuff for a while. Outdoor Smithy. He does a lot of different projects, but a friend of his wanted a knife from a video game, and his thumbnail admitted that, you know what, I wasn't prepared for this. It just went terribly wrong. Blah blah blah. And he was going to forge a knife out of some spring steel and replicate this knife from this video game. And he actually did a pretty decent job fumbling his way through it. Got a couple of people to strike for him with a bigger hammer on his little anvil. He had like a little Vevor type anvil, and a forge from, it looked like from Beaver, something like that. But he was putting together this knife, and he, like I said, he was doing a pretty good job for a novice that didn't know what he was doing. Anybody that's going to jump into it and at least give it a try, I've got I've got the thumbs up for. You know, at least you're trying. And he showed all of his mistakes and his problems and how he got his way through it. But he went through the quenching process. And this is the thing that got me about the whole thing and made me feel weird about it. He's like, so I had to normalize this thing. Well, let's jump back. He had to punch a couple of holes in the knife because there were some, we'll call them decorations, where he had to put some rivets through the knife. It was a thing. Anyway, so he was going to punch holes, and he had some crappy little punches from Amazon or something, and he kept bending them. He finally got the holes punched in this knife, and he did it while it was hot. Kudos to him. He pressed forward. He got through the thing. But he said that shouldn't be punching holes through this knife because around the holes it could fracture and make the knife weak. And I'm like, I wonder where he got that information. Because you can punch holes in a knife. It's not going to hurt anything, especially if you do it up at temperature and you do it the right way. You're not going to hurt anything. Where's he getting this information? So we got to the point where it's going to grind the knife. Now I'm going to quench the knife. So he's like, I have to normalize it. I have to heat it up to 1500 degrees and let it cool 3 times. I'm like, okay, it sounds reasonable for what you're doing. It's a decorative thing. You don't really need to do all this, but okay, I get you. And he's like, I know I have to do this because it's what ChatGPT told me to do. So apparently his whole blacksmithing training is from going online, looking at ChatGPT and asking it questions about how to forge. And I don't you know, you got to where you needed to go. The knife got to the young lady who wanted it, and she was very happy with the knife. It's all good. I'm not looking down on anybody for anything, but it seems like you would go somewhere else other than an AI for information on how to smith. But I guess it's what the world has come to now. I don't know how to feel about that. I never thought that AI would be involved in blacksmithing, but the younger generation has somehow brought this technology into blacksmithing. It's weird. It's just weird. Trying to make a little rebar and machete. Actually, rebar is depending on the grade that you get, there are different grades. You can check all this out online. I did a video about it several years ago. You can get a good mild or mid carbon steel rebar that would make a great machete. And most of it out there is mid grade. It's or mid carbon steel as far as the rebar goes. It's typically what they use for flexibility and strength and blah blah blah. But yeah, you should do well with that. I'll look for it on YouTube. Black Bear Forge is an excellent resource. John over there puts out really, really good information, and he's been teaching for a long time. So if you're watching his channel, pay attention to what he's saying. He hits pretty much every point on everything you're doing. But yeah, if you've got questions that any of us here can answer, should be here every Sunday. If I'm not here on a Sunday, it's because I've got something going with the VA or a doctor or something like that. But and we may be changing this to 7 a.m. We're going to find out. We might give that a try, see how it works, but we'll let you guys know. Looks like we've been hanging around, and we've got about 15 viewers right now. So you guys want to hit the like button, and hopefully nobody got any commercials during this. If you saw any ads during this, let me know. Because I have attempted to remove all ads from these live streams. I don't want that going on while we're enjoying this time together here. So if you see any of that, please let me know. Yes, artificial intelligence is about the same as military intelligence. Sort of an oxymoron, you might say. It was my search into blacksmithing that brought me to you. And oh, thank you. Just gonna get better. Do you have a channel out there? Just gonna get better. 1037. I don't know if you have a channel, but if you do, I'm more than happy to go check it out. I have been gathering, I think I told you guys this before, I have been gathering to my subscribe list all of the new blacksmiths out there that I can find and doing as much as I can to support them, because I believe that if you don't have a resource, if I can support you and I can comment and I can give you a thumbs up and let you know that there's a place you can go and find help online like this. You can talk to real people in real time, and the people on this list that you're looking at, if you have questions, one of these guys is going to have a decent answer for you and a direction that you can go. So put it out there. If you have a question, no matter how silly it might seem to you, I will guarantee you that most of these guys have gone through much worse and had the same kinds of questions. So don't feel silly about anything. Yeah, I don't have much use for that, only because it leads me in directions that I did an AI thing one time with a little video that somebody helped me put together, and it was probably the worst thing I ever did, and I took it down 2 hours later. Heap of Jeep, HOJ Forge. Jason, yeah, he's moved on to some other stuff. He's got another channel going somewhere, and I haven't contacted him in a while, but good guy, really good guy. No ads for you, thank you. Just small one, been a long time since I added anything. Nice. So yeah, it's I have nothing against whatever tools that you feel comfortable using. I The fact that an AI is out there, it is gathering information from the web. So, but it's going to gather as much incorrect information as correct information. So it's going to give you kind of an idea, but some of that information is going to be mixed in there that's going to be absolutely wrong and bad, because it is coming from made up information on the internet. So it's training itself on half truth. So I don't know that I would trust it to do or say the right thing. Grayson, you are absolutely right about the rebar. Depending on what they're using it for, the stuff they put in pillars on the freeway is a higher carbon. It's more flexible, kind of like a spring steel almost, than the stuff they put in your driveway. This is very true. There are varying grades of it, and when when architects are designing structures, they have to specify the grade of rebar to be put in for the compression and tensile strength of all this concrete and the flex and blah blah blah, the support for all that. I would agree with that statement 100%, Mr. Pines. It's not something I would use on a daily basis and rely on, simply because, there may come a time when it's intelligent and it knows the difference between good and bad information. But yeah, if you don't know how to talk to it, I don't know. I have, like I said, I have nothing against anybody who's using that for their own purposes to get where they need to go. I'm not going to talk bad about those people or any of that kind of stuff. Don't get me wrong. It's just not something that's in my life, and I don't need that in my life for the reasons I stated earlier. But Been watching some farmstead forage makers, journeys, both great instructors. Yeah, yeah, there are definitely some good information out there from a lot of different folks. So um, don't shy away from watching any of them. You're going to learn something from everybody you watch, especially if they have failures in what they're doing. You can learn so quickly what not to do. Thought about starting a channel, but don't know how at all. Believe me, there are YouTube channels out there that will teach you how to do this stuff, and it is not. If I can do this, and you hear people say this all the time, if I can do it, you can do it. Literally, if I can do this, you can do this. You're looking at a guy who can do anything mechanically with a forge, with a hammer. I am a whiz with that stuff. When it comes to this electronic stuff, I am really good with electronics. I build 3D printers. I build robots. I build little computers that can talk to you. I don't program any of it. That's my problem. I have no idea programs, all this stuff. If my kid hadn't set all this up for me, I wouldn't be live streaming with you guys right now. So it's like, but I get all of my advice from YouTube. There's somebody out there saying, this is exactly how you do this. And YouTube has practice stuff. You don't have to go live to do a live stream first. You can practice and then look at it. You can upload videos. You don't have to put them live. You can practice and look at them. So there's all this stuff that you can learn from YouTube on how to do YouTube. There is so much information out there. It's not difficult. Like I said, if I can do it, you can do it, because I can build anything for you. If it's electromechanical, get that mechanical thing in there. But if I have to program it, about as far as I've ever gotten is programming an Arduino, a couple of 3D printers. But yeah, that is way over my head. I know my limits. I have an old farrier's forge, Tennessee Blacksmith. Is it like one of those small cast iron ones with the legs and the little crank blower on it, that kind of thing? I keep bumping into this mic. I need to move that mic. Hello. Oh, there we go. Oh. Let's see. How's it better? Do you do machine work? Yes, I do. I have a lathe. I have a mill. I have large drill presses. I've got a surface grinder that I built. It's a weird little surface grinder, but it works really, really well. Find a broken 8-inch, 8-foot shaft. May need to face the broken end. Not sure how to do that on a 14 by 40 lathe. 14 by 40 lathe. So lathe is pretty good size. Your pump shaft that you're talking about, you'd have to sort of figure out what the grade of steel is, and if it is a high carbon, it shouldn't be. Pump shaft should have some sort of mid carbon, or it could even be stainless steel. Figure out the type of material it's made from, and then you can make a better plan in lathing. But you're probably going to have to use, carbide tools are probably the best anyway, and take it slow. But keep the heat down, lots of oil, and face the end of that thing off. I'm not sure how familiar you are with your lathe, but finding out what that material, that shaft is made from first, so you can approach it with the right feed speed and lubricant and the type of cutting tool is where you need to start. So is that you, Daniel? Yeah, it is. I'm having a hard time seeing. I've been looking at this a little too long this morning. What time is it? We are a little past time. I'm going to read a couple more things here, and then we will move on. Mr. Crawford, how are you this morning, sir? It's good to see you, my friend. Thanks for stopping by. If there's anything else I can help you with on that, and you figure out what kind of material you got, you can send pictures. I have an email address attached to each and every one of these videos that come out. It's bigdogforging at gmail.com. You can always email me there. I look at that every day and send pictures, whatever, and I can help you out with anything you've got going there. And if I can't, I've got someone who can. So, sir, it is nice. So I'll check out your channel and perhaps I will see that. That is awesome. I like that. I hope you are doing well, Mr. Crawford, and the winter time has been okay to you. Alrighty. Madcap, you take care of yourself, brother. We will see you next week. Have a good one. Take care of yourself. Be safe, my friend. Be safe. I am going to have to get going here as well, guys. I haven't had any breakfast this morning. My coffee is just about gone. And I am going to call this a morning. And I think next week what we're going to do is we're going to try to do this maybe at 7 o'clock. But you'll see when I come online. But it might be a little bit later. I'm going to try to do things maybe a little later in the morning, just for puppy dog's sake. I am glad to hear that, Mr. Crawford. I am so glad to hear that. It is a good day. I want to thank you all, each and every one of you, for stopping by this morning, saying hi, sharing, question and answer sessions. Like I said, anything that I can help you guys with, you can go to Big Dog Forge on Facebook. My wife monitors and passes all that along to me. I'm never on there. I don't post to that. But she does pass all the information, or you can go to Big Dog Forge at Gmail, bigdogforging at gmail.com, and I can answer any questions you've got there. Just going to get better. Take care of yourself. We will see you soon. Thanks for stopping by, my friend. Have a good week. See you, Zoggy Bottom. Joe, take care. Tennessee Blacksmith. You got some live streams up as well. I will take a look. As a matter of fact, I've got my big giant screen TV set up in my living room. I'm gonna go get myself some breakfast and sit down, and I will enjoy some Tennessee Blacksmith videos. Drazen, time to roll. All right, JT, you have a good one, my friend. Take care of yourself. We will see you next week, hopefully, my friend. Custom Cutter 100. Right on. Thanks for that, Custom Cutter. I appreciate it. You enjoy those videos. Like I said, if you got questions, you can comment. I check out the comments all the time. I got a few I got to get to today sometime as well. Jim's uncle, have a great day, my friend. Shane, talk to you later, buddy. I'm going to get out of here, guys. Talk to you soon. And be safe. Take care. Bye now.